We got Clifton, our newest good gamer, with his first YCS top as a good gamer, and playing the spiciest deck in the room.
Shit, I don't know if I was the only one at top, but I hope so. This deck's so awesome.
I'm pretty sure I've already seen the breakdown, and you're the only one.
Yes, good. They gotta know.
Bro, all right, what'd you play? Run us through it.
I played Memento. This deck is so awesome. I got bored of Snake Eye, so I just wanted to play something more fun. And then I think after the ban list hits and Snake Eye leaves and stuff, I think this deck will be pretty solid. So I kind of just wanted to get a head start on learning it and stuff.
Yeah? All right, well, take us to it. Let's see it.
Here we go. So, starters, 3 Darkblade. This is kind of like the one of the best starters in the deck. He pops a Memento to summon a level 3 low Memento from your deck. So he gets you to Witch and all of your other combo starters, and then whenever he's summoned, you discard a Memento card to pop a spell or trap. So it comes up in a lot of weird matchups, like Runic Stun, Labyrinth. It's also really good if you can summon him on your opponent's turn with like Bone Party or something. You can snipe like Tempai field spells, or like Nightmare Throne, things like that. So a lot of cool applications, and it looks dope. They're all based off old classic cards, like the regular Darkblade. So cool. This is probably my favorite card of the deck, the Seahorse. This is kind of like your extender, along with the 2 witches. Usually you summon Darkblade, and then Darkblade goes into Witch, and then she's your Stratos, which searches the horse. Just on summon, Witch searches any of your Memento monsters. You don't want too many normal summons, so you kind of 3 and 2. Although she is better to start with going first to full combo. He is better into boards because he pops spells and traps, and he also starts the turn with popping a card, so it turns on a lot of your cards, such as Memento Fusion and things like that. So I guess that technically is the better starter, but normally if I'm going first, I prefer to combo with Witch. If you start with this, you need an extra body, but with Witch, you don't. 3 Seahorse, this is the extender. You summon it if you have no monsters, so you don't have to have a Memento to make it live, or you can summon it if you only control Memento monsters. And then on the field, it pops Memento to dump Mementos whose level is equal to or less than the Memento that was destroyed. So like if he's a 5, you can dump like a 4 and a 1, or like a 3 and a 2. And most of the time you want to dump a 2, a 1, and a 1, which is still less than 5. But yeah, all these cards are full combo. This is like kind of like the core of the deck. This is usually like the hand trap magnet. This is usually the card you want to start. All the little guys, the engine requirements and stuff. I guess this guy's not little. But yeah, this is kind of like the boss monster of the deck. It's what all of your Memento stuff revolves around, such as the traps and stuff. He summons himself from the hand or grave, inherent summoned by shuffling back 5 Memento monsters with different names. It's also not once per turn. There was a game where I summoned him twice in one turn after he got blown up. And he's huge, and he revives Mementos. So he does everything that you need. Awesome boss card. Just having a main deck boss monster is so cool. He's also like Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. He can attack all of your opponent's monsters. I won a couple games this weekend just by summoning him and then just murdering my opponent because he's 5,000 attack for free. Then we have all of these guys. These 2 are 2 of the better ones, since both of these are full combo by themselves. Goblin pops a Memento to dump 2, and then Mace pops itself or a Memento to add a Memento from your deck to your hand. Gaddock, whenever he's sent to the graveyard, he summons himself, and then he adds back a Memento card from the graveyard. So this is kind of like how you play around Droll and stuff. If you get Drolled on like your Witch or something, now you can just dump Gaddock and another card that you need to search. So for example, if you like summon Goblin, you pop himself, you dump Gaddock and like the Sheepy or something, because he's the guy that fusions. And you can summon this guy back, and then he can add back the sheep from the graveyard. And that's kind of how you can like effectively play around Droll. You kind of just like dump the cards and then add them back. And then Sheepy, he's like the best extender, but can sometimes be a starter if you have any other Memento monster. During the turn a monster was destroyed, he can summon himself from your hand, quick effects. So that's even on your opponent's turn too. So even if they like Regeki or something, you can like get this to your hand. You can fuse for like the big fusion on your opponent's turn. And then whenever he's destroyed, he dumps a Memento card, which does come out sometimes. Sometimes you need the extra name, or if you get like hand trapped or trolled or something, you just need to be able to like dump that one extra card, like the trap or something, because a lot of cards can add or reset cards from your pick. We have the Memento spells and traps. We have 3 Bone Party. This is kind of like the Rescue Ace emergency card. It pops Memento on your hand or field on resolution, and then it either summons or adds a Memento monster. So it just kind of helps you dodge stuff and then helps you extend and play around things. You can also banish it from the graveyard to give one of your Mementos piercing. So there was one game where I gave this guy piercing, and my opponent had like 5 monsters in defense mode. And I just murdered him. So that comes up occasionally. Same as like Snake Eye, you can kill like their even if they just have like 2 little like Poplar Snake Eye Ash in defense mode, you can just give it piercing and kill them over 2 guys. You don't even have to worry about breaking the board, just kill them. That comes up a lot. But yeah, being able to dodge like impermanent effect negation stuff is really good. Two Memento Fusion. This is probably the best card in the deck. This is like what really, really makes it function. You can fusion summon like normal using your hand or field. It's only during the main phase though, even though it's a quick play. But you can also use cards from your graveyard by shuffling them back into the deck if a monster was destroyed this turn. And it doesn't matter how the monster was destroyed. So like they could like kill another monster. Most of the mementos pop themselves, so it already turns it on. There was one time where I was playing against Equation, the Math Labyrinth deck. He Solemn Striked my Darkblade. So then, since the Solemn Strike had destroyed my Darkblade, it turned this on. So I was able just to like fuse by putting it back and sending a card from my hand to like keep going. So yeah, there's a lot of little things that come up like that. And then, yeah, it's just a quick play fusion spell. It helps you dodge effect negation and stuff. Gets you into, like, your combo pieces and your bigger fusions. But the best part is the graveyard effects. It can banish from the graveyard to pop a monster you control and then search any memento spell or trap. You can use both of its effects in the same turn. And it's not... it can search itself, which is super, super good. So most of the time you search one throughout the combo, you use it to extend, and then later on you banish it to pop a free guy, and then you add another one to your hand for the follow-up. And then we have one of the field spell, the Memento McFlon. You search this off of the new big fusion. This card's alright. It stops your opponent from... It's kind of like Scareclaw Cash. Your opponent can activate special traps whenever you attack. Sometimes it comes up against like Labyrinth or like the Runic decks and stuff. Whenever one of your guys is destroyed, you can revive from the graveyard, so it helps kind of like give you a little bit of resilience against things like Solemn Strike or like Tempai playing like Dark Golem or Geki. So even if your board gets like nuked, you can still like use this to bring back a Memento guy to help keep like some of your traps or interactions alive. But the best part about the card is during the end phase, it can reset any of your Memento spells and traps from the graveyard back to your field. So that way, if you do get like drolled or something like that, you don't have to worry about searching the cards. You can just dump them with like the Memento cards and then reset it off the field spell. And the main one you want to be setting off the field spell is Cranium Burst. This is kind of like Appaloosa, but for 5 monster negates. Because you can only activate it if you control this guy. And then while he's on the field, so this says negate opponent's monster effect on the field by making this guy lose 1,000 attack and defense. Since he has 5,000 attack and defense, he has 5 monster negates. And it's with this card, so it's not like you never play around or you never play into like talents, thrust, or anything. I just end on like this guy with a trap and some Appaloosa and stuff, and they start activating stuff. I just flip this, start negating like monster effects, and since it's a trap effect, you never play in like talents or thrust. It's also kind of like Nightmare Pain, where it forces them into the battle phase to attack your highest memento. So you can even like summon it like this in attack mode, and since that's 5,000. And there's a lot of times where people will just like try to like end their turn or like exit main phase, and then I would just flip the trap, force them into battle phase, so they had to crash their whole board into my big guy. So some people just killed themselves. Yeah, this card's absolutely...
Seems insane.
Yes, this card's absolutely incredible. I don't even side it out going second. It's kind of like the puppet, I guess, like in Branded. I keep it in.
You have to have it in.
Yeah, you have to have it in. It's how you like crack a board with this guy, and then you just dump it throughout the combo. So then you just reset it off this, and then this is kind of like how you beat him on the follow-up. Yeah, this is definitely the MVP card of the deck. And then now we have our obligatory Fiendsmith engine, just because these cards are broken. Yep, engine requirement, Larry, kind of same as Trax, searches off the engraver. And then, yeah, the engraver. The reason why these cards are so good is because they're like the best extenders within Memento cards. If one of your guys gets negated, you can just kind of like Fiendsmith combo into a rank 6, which is Beatrice. Beatrice then dumps the Memento fusion. And then you can banish Memento Fusion to pop the Beatrice to search any of your Memento cards. So you can search Fusion if you need to like Fusion Summon, or you can search Bone Party if you already have a Memento to pop that Memento to keep extending. But the best part about this is since we got the TCG exclusives, such as Necrocrypt and Area Leader, this guy by itself is a 1-card full Momentum combo. So that's what really, really helps it. You don't even need any Memento cards or anything. You see Engraver, you can full Memento combo, so which is what makes it the best.
Even if Beatrice does get banned this list, this still functions perfectly fine.
You're good. You don't. Yeah, the Beatrice is just help to extend. You don't use Beatrice at all throughout just the Engraver combo.
Cool.
So yeah, don't even need Beatrice. Yeah, so good. And then we got our hand traps. 3 Infirm, 3 Droplet, 3 Ash, 3 Nib, 3 Veiler. It's your kind of like typical Snake Eyes, type deck. You got a bunch of good 1-card starters and your Fiendsmith engine. You have all your stuff to stop them. Because who doesn't like making a board and having hand traps to back it up? Veiler was solid. Ash is good. Infirm was pretty good over the weekend. Nib was probably the worst hand trap.
Yeah.
However, I did only play 1 Snake Eyes. Played like 2 Labyrinth and like 5 Tempai decks. So, I mean, that's just kind of how it goes sometimes. But yeah, this card's super, super good. Droll was this card, but I swapped it for this. Droll just wasn't doing enough. I feel like a lot of people just like kind of learn how to play it around it and things. And it's really bad against Tempai. And then 3 Droplet. This was the best card in my deck, defensive-wise.
Best card in the format, bro.
Best card in the format, yeah.
So good.
It's good going first. You can just set it and send like your dead random cards that you don't need. I love just like sending a random monster that they try to negate to negating another card and then dodging like the Imperm or something. And this deck's also kind of like branded in the aspect you have a bunch of like quick play spells and stuff. So there's a lot of times where I'm just like activating like the fusion or like the bone party, and then I'm chaining droplet to send these to get a like max value out of it to get a bunch of negates. So yeah, this comes up a lot. This card's super good. Also, just like cutting the monsters in half, especially with your guy that can attack all of them, comes up a lot too. Extra deck. Guess we'll do the Memento stuff first. To that guy, and then the Guardian Chimera. This is the new guy out of Info. Just takes any 3 Memento monsters, and then he dumps 3 from your main deck or extra deck to the graveyard. Usually you want to summon him and dump another one from your extra deck to the graveyard. That way you can banish him later on to search the field spell. He also has quick effects. Pop as many Memento cards or monsters you control, as many cards your opponent controls. So you can like quick effect just like pop 2 Mementos, pop 2 of your opponent's cards. Just really good interaction. Helps with dodging stuff. It's really good against the rogue decks, such as like Labyrinth. It's good against Tempai. It gives you like a way to interact with the field spell and stuff. Runic decks. Just Runic decks don't stand a chance against this deck. You can pop so many cards. But yeah, this card is being able to be like recyclable off of the combined creation. The really big guy too. Because his effect is kind of like Fenrir. While he's on the field, after your opponent activates effects, after it resolves, you can bring back any Memento. So you can just bring back the big fusion guy to pop more cards and keep doing stuff. Yeah. This is the best fusion in the deck. This one is also extremely good. This is kind of like how it bridges the rest of your deck into like the bigger fusions and everything. Whenever it's summoned, it pops a Memento card you control or in your hands, which is good because it helps play around Nib. Because throughout the combo, he is usually your 5th summon, but you already have a Memento in your hand that you added back off Gaddock. So even if you get nibbed on him, you can still pop the Memento in your hand to search 2 Mementos. So usually you're going to be like searching like this guy or Sleepy or whatever piece you don't have. So he's important for getting extra names, and then whenever he's destroyed, he summons any Memento from the graveyard, doesn't target, which is pretty cool. It just helps you get like the extra bodies for like the Fiendsmith stuff. And then MVP over the weekend, Guardian Chimera. I know a lot of people play Memento have been cutting this card. They say it's not needed, but it's really good going second. The Memento fusion can, of course, make Guardian Chimera, which is super nice. It just requires you to use at least 1 Memento monster, which, I mean, you pretty much always have. And then it's good at playing into boards. There's a lot of times where you like normal the Witch, she gets impermed, and then you don't have like either enough Memento monsters or stuff to like make one of your big guys or something, or you just need to like answer like another problematic card. So you just chain the fusion, send the Witch and like some hand traps or blinks and stuff that you have to make the Guardian Chimera. The Witch resolves. This kind of helps start clearing the board and things like that. It's also really good on your end board because you search this and then you end with this guy. And then, like, first action, after your opponent, like, starts making a board and stuff, this guy triggers kind of like Fenrir to bring back a Memento. You can bring back Witch, and then whenever Witch is summoned, she adds a monster. So you can add Mace, and then after you add Mace, you can discard him while you control the big guy to take an opponent's monster. So then you can activate Memento Fusion to fuse with Angel Witch, the monster you took from your opponent, and then a random card in your hand to make Guardian Chimera. That way they don't get their monster back, and you still get 2 pops off of Guardian Chimera. That's like one of my favorite plays to do.
Yeah, that's nuts. This deck seems nuts.
It is, and like nobody knows what to do. It's so hard to interact with because like all your cards get turned on as soon as a card gets like popped and stuff. Like this you can start shuffling stuff back from the graveyard once one of your cards is popped. A lot of the Mementos pop themselves to like turn on their effects. But there's been times where like my opponent pops cards, like I'll get like Regeki'd and it'll like turn on my stuff. Or like I was playing this Labyrinth earlier today and I normal Darkblade and he used Solemn Strike on it, and I was like, okay, cool, activate the fusion, and then now I can use the materials in my graveyard since one of my monsters was destroyed because he destroyed it with Solemn Strike. So yeah, there's a bunch of niche little interactions with these cards. Then we have our Fiendsmith stuff. I feel like all this is pretty self-explanatory, especially like these.
Yeah, like every deck plays.
Yep, like every deck plays them. Don't really have to talk about these. Necroquip is pretty much there just to make the Fiendsmith the 1-card rank 6, which is to make the Beatrice.
Yep.
This helps you extend if one of your guys gets like hand traps. Like if you summon a Witch and she gets like hand trapped or something, then you have Engraver. You usually like do Fiendsmith stuff into this, equip, shuffle back a guy, and then Engraver and this make Beatrice, and then Beatrice will attach Engraver, and then you'll dump the Memento Fusion. You'll banish the Memento Fusion to pop the Beatrice, and then you'll search Bone Party, because it can search any spell or trap. And then you just activate Bone Party and destroy the Witch that was negated earlier to summon out your Seahorse, and then you full combo from there. So it's just the best extender. The Fiendsmith stuff helps you play through so many cards. But the real MVP of the deck is Aerial Eater. This allows the Fiendsmith Engraver to be a 1-card combo, which is what the deck really needed. It's nice that it helps like bridge into the other engines and like helps you play through hand traps. But Fiendsmith Engraver being a 1-card combo in this deck with Aerial Eater is super nice. You just kind of like Fiendsmith stuff, and you get to the point where you have like Lacrima and things. You like link them off into sequence. I think I forgot that one. and then you use sequence, shuffle back like some guys, and then you make Aerial Eater, and then you use Aerial Eater's effects to dump a Goblin because he's a fiend. So you'll dump him to the graveyard. You then link these into my next extra card, which is Cross Sheep. And then since Aerial Eater is in the graveyard, you can banish 2 of your Fiend monsters. So usually you banish like either a Lacrima and an Engraver, or just 2 Engravers, because you can just get them from the deck. So you summon this, and then you trigger Cross Sheep right here, and then it brings back Goblin. And then you can use Goblin, pop itself, you dump 2 Memento cards. So for example, you can dump like Gaddock and Mace, wherever she is. So you dump these 2. A Gaddock then triggers to bring himself back. And then Gaddock effect will add Mace back to your hands. And then since we just started with the Engraver combo, we still have it normal summons. So that allows us just to chuck all of these guys into Appaloosa. And then we can normal the Mace and pop itself to get the fusion. And then since the card was destroyed, we can now use Memento Fusion to fuse with all the cards in the graveyard that we just built up. So then now we can full Memento combo just with Engraver and protected by Appaloosa. So yeah, Aerial Eater really helped us out a lot. And then yeah, we have Appaloosa. This is always your inboard. Normally your inboard is Appaloosa, Desiree, and then the big guy with the trap, and then the Guardian Chimera setup. And then the last kind of like only flex spot, I guess, if you want to, you can kind of count this as a flex spot, I guess. But the only real flex spot I played was Little Knight. If you get hand trapped a lot, this is kind of the card you like detour into. If you can't do the Fiendsmith stuff in Moon, or you just don't have enough bodies for it, a lot of times you just want to make this and then hard summon your super duper big guy. That way, worst case, if you get Nibiru, you can just chain SP to banish them both, and they'll come back later on in the turn. Because most of the cards don't work if you don't control the big guy, such as like the trap, Mace, Goblin, things like that. So he's kind of like the main guy you want to keep on the board. So.
That's the main extra.
That's the main extra. Clean 40. I was never playing more than 40.
I don't think I've heard anybody say clean 40 this entire week.
I know. It's got to be 40. Side deck. 3 Bestials. I know a lot of people are kind of conflicted in the Memento deck because it puts a monster on your field that's not a Memento, and one of the best cards in the deck, the Seahorse, the main extender. He can't summon himself if you control a non-Memento monster. But these cards are just so powerful. They give you the extra bodies that you need to help access the Fiendsmith engine. Worst case, if you have like Memento Fusion in the graveyard, you can like clear them from like the search stuff. But there's been times where I like Druid Swarmed and like banished a card, they pass to me, and then I have the horse, I just tribute over the Druid Swarm for the horse. And then the Druid Swarm sends a card, and then since I control the horse, I can now combo. But yeah, these cards are just super good. They were good all weekend. 3 Mummy. Like I said, I couldn't troll and stuff, and it just wasn't impactful for me, so I needed another hand trap since Nib was on the side, but I moved it to the main. So I just tried this one. It's kind of like the best generic one. It's like a hand trap without being a hand trap. It kind of just gets you into your other hand traps plus engine, hopefully. So it's kind of just like extra copies of a bunch of other cards. I only drew it like once over the weekend, so, but yeah. The card seems alright in theory. I've been playing this deck since YCS Indy and like testing it and stuff, and this card was awful during Mon and Joe's testing, so shout out to Joe Gold. But I don't know. It's alright. I still think this card could be positioned a little bit better. But it's really good against like Tempai. It's really good against Yubel. Yubel is one of the harder matchups for this deck, especially like going second into that board. So yeah, this card's pretty solid. Some power spells. A lot of the 1-ups in my side deckers kind of help fit with like the siding and slots because I play a lot of 1-ups with like the guys and the traps and stuff. These 2 are just amazing board breakers going second, and then this card just helps you ensure your combo goes through going first because I play a lot of hand traps, so I kind of just swap some of them for called by going first. Your board's pretty much like an FTK if it resolves, so might as well just extra protection if you have the 1-up slot. 3 of the MVP side deck card in Judgment. This deck's weakness is board breakers, so spell and trap board breakers to be specific, because you end your field with like 7 monster negates.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, cards like Evenly Matched, Feather Duster, even like Regeki, Lightning Storm, things like that, they hurt this deck a lot. That's why I like the Fiendsmith version of this deck so much, because you can make Desiree on your inboard every time. So she has at least like 1 layer of protection against like the Talents or the Dorko, Regeki, Evenly Matched type card. Well, yeah, I just put these in. I always swap the 3 droplets from my main deck for these going first, because it's effectively the same thing. If you get to full combo and then set this card, pretty much win the game. It just stops their board breakers, and then your trap that negates 5 monster effects is usually enough to seal the duel. And then the last 3 cards are just 3 power traps, kind of like the spells. Fragrance, just God card. This card should probably be banned. Really good against the board breaker stuff. It's good against like talents, the stuff you lose to, like talents, thrust, lightning storm, things like that. All the mementos are different attributes and types, so this is just really, really good. You can play under super easily. Helps beat like the Fiendsmith's like decks. Helps good against you, Bell, Tempai, things like that. Just another good flood that your deck can play. And then the other MVP side card is Memento Fracture Dance. This is what I swap the continuous trap with if I play against a deck that doesn't use monster effects, such as like Runic Stun or like Labyrinth. In Tempai, I keep them both in. But yeah, this says pop a card your opponent controls if you control a Memento monster, but if you control a big guy, you can pop 2 of them. So this kind of helps you deal with like the weird cards, whereas like this wouldn't be good against like Runic Stun because they don't activate monster effects. But yeah, there was a lot of times where like I just resolved this card to pop like a Fountain and another back row, or like against Labyrinth, I just sniped 2 back row during the end phase. And then the field spell can keep resetting it during the end phase, wherever it's at. McFlon. During the end phase, you can just reset any of your memento spells or traps. So you can just keep resetting this against like the Runic Stuns and stuff. That can just keep flipping it and blowing up their cards. There was one guy I played against where I saw this 3 times in one game, just constantly nuking his board because we were grinding.
Exactly.
So yeah, it kind of helps the deck beat the floods and stuff like Synchro Zone and things like that. But yeah, that's it for the mementos.
That's the deck, man. Congratulations.
Thank you. First time as a GOO member.
Bro, first time as a GOO member. First win is also going to be as a GOO member.
Oh, yes.
We're running back Niagara Falls, right?
Yes, we have to.
Before we end, any shout-outs? Anybody you want to give a little love to?
Shout out to my wife, Kat, for our anniversary, so we came to Sacramento. We didn't get to go to Nationals because our flight got canceled because like the world shut down, so I like rage booked Sacramento. I was like, I have to play this deck at an event. I was like, I have to play this deck at an event since I didn't play the Nationals. So yeah, shout out to her. Thanks for like me coming, playing stuff, even though it's our anniversary and chill in Sacramento. Shout out to GOO Gaming for all the stuff, the support. All you guys have been awesome. And then,
Love you, man.
Yeah, and then shout out to Through the Decades, and then all my guys back in Kentucky, running me on and stuff.
Well, thanks again, man. We'll see you next time. We'll see you at the next one.
Yes, sir.